Hey guys, it's me, Miss P, here for another art lesson. And I'm actually really excited about this week's project. I saw it online and I thought to myself, well, I have to do this with my students. So we're gonna do that. This week we're going to be making lava lamps out of construction paper. You'll need a glue stick. You'll need, markers or colored pencils or oil pastels, whatever you wanna color in with. And if you have it, it would be great if you had some black string for the extension cord, but you don't have to do that. So I am going to start this project by actually just drawing a lava lamp on my whiteboard here, because I want to have a good idea when I get started of what I think a lava lamp looked like. So I'm going to draw my lava lamp. To me, a lava lamp has a top that's like a trapezoid, like a very long trapezoid. Or you could think of it as like a tall triangle with the top cut off. And then there's this part at the top, could be higher too, that's colored in black. I can't find my black erasable marker, so that's my bad. And then we have the bottom, which kind of goes inward. So we could say this top part is like a triangle. And then this bottom part is like a triangle. Right? That's a little sloppily drawn, but you get the idea. So this will all be black, I know that. So I'm going to need some black construction paper, and I know that I'm going to need to cut out two triangles. So here's one triangle, and here's another triangle, and they'd be about the same size. And then I need a little part for the top, which can just be like a rectangle. So I'm going to need a rectangle and these two triangles. And then what do I have here? So in the middle part, this is where I'm going to have my lava lamp's the lava in it, obviously, that raises up. And so I'm going to have to decide what color that's going to be, because that's going to be the colorful part of my assignment. So here's what I'm thinking, guys. For my lava lamp, I am going to need black construction paper. I know that for a fact. And I have it behind here. Behind my whiteboard. Black construction paper. So I've got a sheet of black construction paper. The other thing that I'm going to need is a piece of paper for the background. Now this can be whatever you have. If you want to make it out of a different color of construction paper, I'm going to do that. I've got some blue construction paper to use as the background that I'm going to put my lava lamp on. And then you need to decide this part. Do we want to make that white? Do we want it to be a white piece of paper and then we just draw the lava in it? Or do we want to make that also out of construction paper? So that's your choice. I personally think I'm going to do it out of construction paper because I think it would be fun. Now, a good way to keep from wasting too much construction paper is to go ahead and cut your pieces of construction paper in half if you know that you're only going to use a small part of it. So that's the way it's going to be for our black piece of construction paper and for a piece of construction paper that will make up our lava portion. So I'm going to cut this piece of construction paper in half, or I can just fold it several times over and get that fold nice and folded. So I really only need this size piece of construction paper. And I think I would say the same for my black construction paper. I'm going to need this piece folded in half. So, same deal. Once I have it folded in half though, I can start working on my actual lava lamp. I think that's all I'm really going to need for my lava lamp. I want to make sure that my lava lamp is good and big on my paper. So with this pink piece of paper, I think I want to use as much of this paper as possible because, you know, I want to have it. I want to make it nice and big. So I'm going to take just any old pen and draw out the shape I need. So we know at the bottom is flat like that. And then we can have a big part of it, as much as we can, up to the top. You can make it a little skinnier at the top or anything. That's going to be pretty big, so we might want to make it a little smaller. Like this size maybe. Yeah, and I think I'll cut even a little bit on inside the lines for that too. And then of course I can always make it smaller when I'm cutting it. So I'm gonna cut that out real quick. Oop. And when I'm cutting things out, I can make nice straight lines, which is nice. So even if my drawing's a little bit wobbly, I can make nice straight lines. So there I have my sort of lava lamp part that's going to be the part that I put the actual like lava in. I'm going to make that a little bit less wide actually. So I am adjusting the size quite a bit to make it a little smaller, because I just don't want this to be too big, but I think that'll work perfectly. So I've got this. And with that, I need to get myself a triangle that's gonna be a little bit bigger than this, right? So I can start at the top there, and maybe I'll take something like a white oil pastel. So I can just draw this for you and it'll be clear for you to see. I think that's the best thing I have for that right now. So if my lava lamp ends here, I know I can start the end of my triangle right there and draw a triangle up right there. So I've got that triangle, and then I can make another triangle around the same size here. Right? Yeah. And this will be the back side, obviously, the part I'm covering with oil pastel, so I won't have to worry about that oil pastel showing up. And then for the top part right here, I'm sort of just gonna like trace a slightly bigger rectangle and cut on the inside of that, and then I'll have the top part of my lava lamp. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut all of these things out. I'm excited for this project, guys. I think it's gonna be really cute. Oh, so exciting. Okay. So when I do this, I wanna make sure I have good track. I'm keeping good track, I mean, of all of the stuff that I'm taking out here. So I've got this little piece, this little rectangle. I don't want to lose that. I've got my triangles. One triangle. And the second triangle. If you can, it's a good idea to make like a bin of scrap construction paper that you can use again later. Because, you know, with this, I'm gonna have a little bit of construction paper left over. And when you're out of construction paper, it's really nice to have those little scraps so you can have as many colors as you need. So that's my second triangle of construction paper, right? And I have this part. So with this, either choose to cut out some little shapes for this or just draw the shapes on there. Either works, and whatever you want to do, whatever resources you have, that's what you should do. Since we're using a lot of construction paper already, you don't have to use different construction paper, but if you have some scraps, different construction paper would be good. I don't really have any good scraps right now besides the ones that I just cut out. I'm actually looking around to see if I have any good scraps, but I don't. So I think I'm just gonna color some lava into my lava lamp because I just happen to have a lot of markers. Oh, there is something I wanted to point out about this. So the shapes that we're making with their clean lines, we have like a long rhombus here. Not rhombus, we have a long trapezoid here. And we have triangles up there, and we have a little rectangle. These are all geometric shapes. They're everyday shapes. You see clean lines, straight lines. They have sides. But the shapes that we're going to draw inside of our lava lamp are not geometric shapes. They're shapes that are all wiggly and crazy. And those you would call organic shapes. And we talked about this a little bit in, I think, one of our first live lessons. But you may or may not have heard it, or you may or may not remember it. So while I'm actually talking to you, I'm kind of trying to decide what I want to use to color in my, my lava lamp to make those organic shapes. There are so many options for colors and, oh my goodness, it is hard to choose. So I'm looking here. I think I'm going to do purple little organic shapes in my lava lamp. So you see with these organic shapes, they don't really have hard edges. They're just sort of wiggly. I always kind of describe them as clouds, like clouds are organic shapes. So here I have all my little shapes, and I'm going to take a second to color them in. I want to make them nice and colored in, so I'm going to do a quick time lapse. I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I finished that up. The first thing that I want to say is that when I colored this, I used colored pencils. And there's a lot of things you can use. You can make your choice. I also wanted to say that I used a slightly darker color of purple towards the bottom of these organic shapes. And I colored in some white after I did the initial coloring towards the top to give these blobs sort of like some value so they look a little bit more real. You can try this if you want. You can color dark around the lower edges of your organic shapes, and towards the top you can add some white. You don't have to do this. It's up to you. So I did that though. I've got this, and I've got my trusty glue stick, and I'm going to put some glue on here, and I'm going to stick it directly onto my background, which is this blue. So, just on my desk, I'm putting some glue on here. And I'm going to go ahead and just glue that to my paper. Nice and easy. The next part I think I'll do is my little black piece of paper, my little black rectangle. That'll go right at my, right at the top. Sorry guys. So I'll go ahead, put a little glue on that, glue it right to the top. Oops. we go with that. Okay. So, obviously for the next two parts, we're going to attach our bottom portion. So we can look at this. And we can see where our lava lamp's gonna go. Obviously mine's a little big, it crosses over a bit, but that's okay. So, I do want to say something though before I end up gluing this down. So if this is my base, I know I'll glue it right at the bottom of my paper, right? There's something I want to do first before I glue that down. So I have this piece of black, it's like jewelry yarn, and I have that, and like I said before, you don't have to have that to complete this project, but I'm going to put it in for an outlet because I think it'll look good. What I am going to do is I'm going to take the end of this thread, oops, sorry guys, I'm going to take the end of this thread, and I'm going to take a piece of tape, okay? And I'm taking the back of this piece of paper. If it's going to be positioned like this, I'm going to take the back of this piece of paper, and I'm going to glue that, or I'm going to tape that thread on to the back of the piece of paper. So that when I glue it down, the thread will be right there. So I'm going to put some glue on the back of this, on the sheet I taped the thread on. And I can just cover up the tape and everything with glue. And I'm just doing this because this will make a stronger attachment for my little piece of string. So I'm putting this right at the bottom of my canvas. Trying to straighten it out. There we go. Tuck that under. Perfect. Then I'm going to take this other piece, and this one's a little big, so I think I might trim it. And that's the nice thing about this project, is that you can trim it. For some reason I also got some oil pastel on the front, but that's okay. So I'm going to trim this down a little bit, make it a little smaller. All right, I think that's about small enough. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to put glue on the back of this one, and then I'm going to glue it down. Nice. Okay, and this is the last part, and of course it is optional because it's going to be optional to have the thread, but if I have the thread, I'm going to need an outlet for it. So what I'm going to do is I am going to cut myself a rectangle. This will do. And I'm going to take a little piece of tape, and I'm going to go ahead and tape the other end of this thread to that small piece of construction paper that I'm using for my plug, right? So I'm going to take that. I've got it taped to the thread. I'm going to put some glue on the back of that. Whoop. I'll put the little outlet here. Hopefully that'll work okay. Yep. And then I need to draw in the plugs, obviously, right? So I'm just trying to press that down nice. So I'm going to get a black marker, and I'll just draw those little prongs from the outlet by hand. So there's one. There's another little outlet prong. And with that, I'm done with my lava lamp project. If you'd like, you can do some decorations in the background. You can do a pattern or stripes or something like that. But You don't have to. Oops. This is falling a little bit. Make sure you glue this nice and well. I hope you enjoy doing this project because I personally thought it was a lot of fun and I think my results looking pretty cool. So I hope you feel the same and I hope you enjoy doing this little project. We've got our organic shapes, we got our geometric shapes, we've got yarn. This project has it all. So I'm looking forward to seeing them from you guys and thank you for watching the video. Bye.